you.
What's your name?
My name's Lazaro. Go ahead and take a seat.
Thank you. Use it.
All right. So, tell us some of your concerns.
Oh, well, I've been depressed for a very long time, and I just had a bit of a problem with, food shaming and eating too much, and
Does this happen more often during the holidays?
yeah, because there's a lot of stress with the family, and
I understand. I understand. So, how often have you been overindulging?
I think it's picked up since the child has been born. My wife and I had a child a few years ago, and just that emotional stress just causes expectations versus reality, and it's been really difficult.
Understandable. I'm gonna go ahead and take your blood pressure.
Sure.
I'm gonna go ahead and weigh you, and then we're gonna view the results from that test you took earlier.
Sure.
Okay.
Thanks.
Let's go ahead and do that right now. And this is just to make sure we want to establish a baseline.
Right.
And so just relax. This is not gonna hurt, but you're gonna feel some tightening. And that's perfectly normal. You've had your blood pressure checked before, haven't you?
Just once or twice,
Let me
yes.
see. Sorry about this. Let me see. Should be, yeah. Okay. Sorry about that. There. Do you know what your normal blood pressure runs at?
Yeah, it's around
Relax it.
120.
120? 120 over.
120 over, yeah.
Okay, sounds good. This will only take a few minutes. All right, 120 over 87. Your blood pressure is normal, falls within the normal range. Now, if you don't mind, we're just gonna weigh you over here.
Okay.
Go ahead. Get on the scale. Okay, very well. You're at 230, 235.
Right.
So we're gonna do some exams here for you. We're gonna do the BMI. I'm gonna calculate your BMI,
Okay.
and that's basically, we have a table here, and we're gonna go according to your height. So we measured you earlier.
Right.
You're 6'2",
Right.
235. So we're going to look at this table here, the BMI table.
Right.
Okay. And this is your value right here, in this table.
Right. Right.
Okay. So, that being said, I'm gonna have a strict goal for you.
Okay.
Is we're gonna put you on a balanced diet, and we're gonna put you on some fluid. We're gonna put you into a formula to see where you stand as far as the fluids are concerned. How much fluids you should be taking on a daily basis. Maybe you're a little bit dehydrated, or maybe you're consuming too much, but we just want to get you right at the right amount of fluids for your
Okay.
for yourself. So let me go ahead and input some of this data in here. All right. So I did the fluid calculations here, and you're supposed to be at about 147 milliliters per hour, 220 milliliters per hour. Let's see. Let me look at this. Let me just do the calculations here. How many ounces you should have Okay, and this is how much you're supposed to be intaking per day, okay?
Okay.
All right, so that's going to be your fluids. All right. All right, the next thing I'm going to do for you is I'm going to set you up on a nutrition program.
Okay.
Okay, so and you could do this yourself as well, but I'm gonna do the work for you on this one time. You can see this, and it's myplate.gov, and
Okay.
this is a site, and it'll give you how many calories you're supposed to be in, what types of foods you're supposed to be intaking. So basically like a balanced diet, and we're gonna go over that right now, okay? So I went ahead and inputted your height,
Right.
okay, and your weight,
Age.
and your age. That's correct. So based on this, if you want to maintain your current weight, we would have you on 3,000 calories.
Okay.
But we want to have you on a healthier caloric intake. And for that, we're going to put you on a 2,600 calorie diet,
Okay.
And we're going to go over what type of foods you should be having with that particular diet. So the food groups are divided into fruits,
Okay.
vegetables. We're going to have your grains. We're going to have proteins. We're going to have your dairy. Okay? So I'm going to break this down for you. You're allowed to eat 2 cups of fruit a day. And we're going to go over some of the food choices that you can have in a minute.
Sure.
Okay? So we're going to have 2 cups of fruits a day. And I'll print this out for you at the
Okay.
end of our visit, so that you could have it, you could see it, and we can every week we can rotate what types of food items that you could be having. Okay.
Sure.
All right. So two cups of fruits a day, 3.5 cups of vegetables. You're gonna have 9 ounces of grains, and 6.5 ounces of protein, with 3 cups of dairy. Okay. Does that sound like something you can do for the day?
My gastroenterologist told me that wasn't allowed dairy.
Okay, so we could substitute that with almond milk, with
Okay.
cashew milk. So we could definitely do that. So no dairy, right? So no cheese, no yogurts.
Yeah.
Okay.
Will the fruits cause any type of insulin spikes?
No, it just depends. We're gonna look at the glycemic index
Okay.
for each one of those, and we'll put you on the fruits and vegetables that have the lowest amount of glycemic index for you. Okay.
And I'm worried about the amount of salt and
Yes, we're gonna
a lot
limit-
of inflammation that may occur from the use of the carbohydrates when we're talking about in reference to breads.
Yes. Well, we're going to use a toolkit on
Okay.
here, and you're going to be on a 2,300 milligram sodium diet per day. So
Okay.
make sure you stay away from processed foods.
Right.
They usually tend to have a lot of salt. You know,
Right.
any type of canned food's going to have a lot of salt. So you're going to stick to like real foods, real vegetables. You can go to the market.
Okay.
The local market and get that. It's better if you prepare them at home.
Okay.
And every now and then, you know, you can go out to a restaurant, but just be aware that anytime you go to a restaurant and for flavor, they'll add extra sugar and salt, and you want to limit that. So,
Right.
and for that reason, you're going to use this toolkit. You're going to input your calories in here, and there's several websites that you can go to. I'll give you a list of those at the end of our consultation. But basically, they all work the same. You're going to go ahead and input the food, and it'll give you a nutritional label at the end. And so that's a better way for you to track your sugar intake,
So
your calories.
Is this like an app that I can download?
That's correct. You can
Oh, okay.
download. There's one called MyFitness app.
Okay.
That's the one I would recommend, but there's certainly a couple that you can choose from.
Thanks.
Okay. Yes. So I'm just going to give you a rundown of some examples of some of the foods that you can have
Sure.
on this diet, and this is the recommended This is the recommended diets that we have here. So for cups, you can have 1 cup of raw, frozen, or cooked canned fruit. Okay.
Okay.
You can have half a cup of dried fruit or 1 cup of 100% fruit juice. You have any questions with any of those?
It's just, I think fruit juice has a lot of sugar, added sugar to it. So wouldn't that be something that might be
Well, we're going to input it. Remember, we
Okay.
have that app. So once you input it, it'll give you your sugar allowance.
Okay.
Okay, and
Sounds
as long
good.
as you don't go over that. And again, like I said, I'll give you a copy of the glycemic index
Okay.
for some of those fruits. And then you can choose the ones that are lower on that scale and go ahead and make your smoothies or go ahead and eat your snacks with those foods.
Just worried about the sugar content because I have a habit of crashing when I have too much sugar intake.
Exactly.
Oh.
And for that reason, we're gonna track your food intake
Right.
and add up all of your sugar consumption with that app. That'll make
Okay.
it easier for us to track that. And you can print it out and bring it,
Okay.
and then we can go over it and we can make substitutions.
Okay. Sounds good.
But usually, you want to stick with foods that at the bottom it says added. If you look at the sugar label, it's going to say sugars, and then on the bottom it says added sugars. You don't want any foods that have added sugar. You want to keep to the natural sugars.
Okay.
And usually the foods that have the added sugars are going to be, like I said, processed foods.
Right.
You know, and you want to stay away from those for that very same reason.
Okay.
Okay.
Sounds good.
And then, like, let's look at your vegetables. You're gonna have 3.5 cups of vegetables. You can have 1 cup of raw or cooked canned vegetables.
Mm-hmm.
And again, you can limit the canned vegetables. It's always better to stick with the raw vegetables.
Okay.
2 cups of leafy salad greens. And there's a variety of salad greens that you can have. I know kale. You can have regular iceberg lettuce. So there's a variety of leafy greens that you can have. And 1 cup of 100% vegetable juice. You can also do that.
Okay.
Just make sure it's low in sodium, or you can juice it yourself.
Okay.
And we have some pamphlets on that as well.
Okay.
All right. And we're going to stick to the grains. We're going to stick to 1 slice of bread, or 1 ounce of ready-to-eat cereal, or half a cup of cooked rice, pasta, or cereal for your grains. Proteins, you're gonna have 6.5 ounces for the day. That's what your recommended allowance is. So we have, I'm gonna give you some examples of this. So as long as at the end of the day you have 6.5 ounces, you spread them out throughout the day, you're gonna be fine. So we're gonna have 1 ounce of cooked canned lean meats. Make sure to stick to the lean meats. Okay, poultry or seafood. You can have 1 egg or 1 tablespoon of peanut butter, or 1/4 cup of cooked beans or peas, or half ounce of nuts or seeds. So anything within that group, you'll be good, as long as you do the equivalency, and at the end of the day, it's going to be 6.5 ounces.
Is pork
okay?
considered a lean meat?
We don't have it here on the list, and I would limit that very seldomly.
Okay.
If you have to eat that.
Okay.
Yeah. And no, I would not consider that lean.
Okay.
Lean. I'm thinking more like your lean steaks.
Oh yeah. Okay. Okay.
Like a sirloin.
Sure.
Okay. And then you're gonna the dairy. I know you said you're a gastroenterologist, right?
Gastroenterologist.
Enterologist, sorry. Does not want you to
Yeah.
consume dairy products. That's fine. We're just gonna make the substitution with some of the almond milk and cashew milk that's out there. Okay, soy milk.
Right.
All
Okay.
right, and then we'll substitute that. And then we have some tips here for you. So let me just bring those up. I'm going to go ahead and do the tips here. I'm just going to read you a few, and then I'm going to send you off with this pamphlet as well.
Okay. Sounds good.
All right. So magic foods do not exist. There's no magic food or way to eat. There are some foods men eat such as vegetables, fruits, whole grains, protein foods, beans, eggs, lean meats, and dairy like 1% milk. But we already talked about the substitution there. You'll get nutrients you need for good health, including magnesium, potassium, calcium, vitamin D, fiber, and protein. Do you take any multivitamins?
Yeah, the
Okay,
doctor
that's good. That's good. And
and a vitamin D supplement as well.
that's good. And we're gonna order some blood work. Make sure that all your vitamins and minerals are sufficient. And if there's any deficiency on there, we'll go ahead and either order you some food that'll supplement that.
Okay.
That have like maybe like say potassium or magnesium, and we'll go ahead and supplement you that. We'll just recommend some foods or some multivitamins to go ahead and fill that. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Let me read you another tip. If it's there, you'll eat it. So keep healthy foods in the kitchen that you need little preparation. Keep your fridge filled with carrots, apples, oranges, low-fat yogurt, eggs. Stock up on fresh canned or frozen vegetables and fruits, lean meats, canned beans, tuna, salmon. Find healthier heat and eat options to replace heating up a frozen pizza.
Okay.
Do you have any questions?
Is popcorn a good snack meal?
It would, and I know they sell them. You just need to look at the portion size.
Okay.
I know they already sell them by portions.
Okay.
So yes, and again, you're going to be tracking your food
Okay.
intake. So as long as you stay below the salt, the sugar, and you hit all of your balanced diet, then that certainly would make a good snack.
Okay.
Let's look at another one. We're going to build habits that don't add pounds. So you're going to cut calories by skipping foods high in solid fats and added sugar. We already discussed that. Limit fatty foods like ribs, bacons, and hot dogs.
Okay.
Cakes, cookies, candies, and ice cream should be just occasional treats. Okay, so I'm not saying cut them out completely, but maybe save them for special occasions. Does
Okay.
that sound something like it's doable?
Yeah.
And then here's a really interesting tip. Use smaller plates to adjust the amount of food you eat. Okay? So that can be very helpful. We already talked about your water intake.
Right.
We went ahead and I'll print that out for you. But it's water is your friend. Water is better choice than many routine drinks. Okay? Beverages can add up about 400 calories a day to men's diets. So limit high-calorie beverages, including those with alcohol. Skip soda, fruit drinks, energy drinks, sports drinks, and other sugary drinks. Okay?
Okay.
Okay. And then men energy needs differ from women's needs. Find exactly how much and what foods you need based on your height, weight, age. And we did that already, right? With the food tracker. Went over a detailed description of those things. Okay, get beyond survival cooking. Start cooking more often. Try steaming your vegetables, roasting a chicken, and making a tasty veggie sauce for spaghetti from scratch. Again, staying away from the processed foods.
Okay.
Eating your own home cooked meals allows you to control what you eat and how much you eat. And this is a better way of tracking your calories.
Okay.
And that way you don't go over
Right.
your caloric intakes. Okay? And then brings us to the final tip about exercising. Okay? So how often do you exercise? A day or a week?
It really depends on my arthritis. I've had it for about over 20 years, and I've gone through periods where it's very active and periods where it's just really hard to get out of bed. It's just that bad, and it just fluctuates. So lately, it's been almost only activity is whatever I'm doing with my son, whether it's going to the zoo or something, just like walking. But even that is pretty difficult. in periods when medication works better, you know, I can drop weight and, you know, be more active. It really depends on the issue the most, for me anyway.
Okay, so on the days that you are feeling better,
Uh-huh.
I'm gonna recommend that you go for long walks. You can bike or jog depending on how you're feeling that day. And the important thing is to stay motivated. Okay.
Okay.
And you should. I'm gonna set a goal for you for 2.5 hours or more of moderate physical activity per week.
Okay.
Okay. So if you want, I have a log, and you can just log down your physical activity. And some of the apps also have that where you can log your physical activity. So we've already gone over your water intake. We've gone over your food choices. I'm gonna print out the types of foods recommended for you, and I'll also print out how many ounces of each food item you should have. We're gonna get you started on the food app,
Okay.
and I also have another pamphlet with different types of exercises that you can do
Okay.
on the days that you feel better. I'm gonna have I'll actually call your doctor later on and see if we could coordinate with your medication.
Right.
See when's the best days that you can go out for a walk, and stay motivated.
Okay.
Okay. So, are there any questions you have?
No, that's about it.
All right, Lee.
Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you for coming, and I look forward to doing follow-ups with you.
Okay, thanks.
Thank you.